So it's part 2 of this mix down. It's literally the next day. I don't have tons of time, but I'm going to do my best to get through this. And I've got this on the speakers now because I need to get a sense for it. I haven't made any other changes. And I'm going to see how it's feeling. So it's going to sound a little bit different. I will get it so that you can hear the sound properly again later. But this is literally because it's playing on the monitors. So let's have a listen.
Wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna?
Right, listening back to this, I'm really not happy with the bass, the way this is sitting. And this is the big difference between listening on the headphones and listening on monitors, for sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do at the moment. Let me just turn off these bands and see how it sounds raw on its own to see whether I was making some mistakes before.
Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me?
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use one of my favorite third-party EQs. This is a Vibe EQ. And let me just take a look at this, see how it feels for this one. And what I'm going to do, the thing is sadly you can't hear the clarity here in terms of the sound. I wish you could hear the precise changes that are occurring here, but you will be able to compare with the previous video and this current one once I get back on showing you this in proper clarity. When I switch the audio driver. I'm going to switch here. This is the EQ, the compressor you saw me use, the 2A. I really like what this does with bass, and a lot of people don't usually dive to it as their first port of call with bass, but I'm going to just put it on and have a listen. What I'm trying to do is to even out the bass, and you really won't be able to hear it because it's so low coming in through that mic. But just take a look at the gain reduction meter here. You'll see where it's turning the volume down.
Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna?
Right, for me, this is where I would love to get a hold of the individual parts, because I would have made that synth just a little bit thicker, just giving it a bit more body on there. I'm wondering if I may be able to bring some of that character out using another effect. Let me just move these down. So Command plus drag, and on here I'm looking for some kind of distortion. Just wondering if the tube will bring this out, or DAT tube. Let me have a listen. Now that's actually not the kind of tone that I want on there. Just going to take a look at the actual Cubase distortion here. No, let me just adjust the tone. No, that's just way too much. Let me just try with a tiny amount of boost. Nope, that's definitely not working. I'm looking for something that's going to give me just a little bit more character to the sound. Let's try this. Now, can you see this on the EQ? You're seeing what's happening and you're seeing the end results there. So look, if I take that off, this is quite smooth over here. The only problem is it's sounding really muddy now. I'm wondering if I dip at about 200 or so. Okay, this isn't working for me at all. I'll just describe what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to add a bit more character in sort of the lower mids or mids really. Maybe a little bit more of a kind of aggressive tone to it. And I'm wondering now maybe if we try some bit crushing. This could be good. Now this, you can see it's adding this ringing here. That's really not working either. Let me try the other modes. No. So my feeling here is that I would prefer to get a hold of the original bass and to work with the synthesizer, and that's going to be impossible. So I need to find some way around this. I'm trying to exaggerate that character that I feel is making this messy. Let me take that cue more narrow. Let's really try and pick out this sound. Maybe it's that. I know I worked with these before, but I really wasn't happy with the sound when I listened back on the speakers.
Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna
Yeah, these two need to work better. What I might do is take both of these and group these together. So add group channel to selected tracks. We're going to say bass. Really trying to work through this issue now. And this soloed. Let's take a look. Maybe compress them together. Okay, that's feeling better there.
always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always
Vocals sounding a little bit too loud there, so I've just turned that down. Another thing that I'm going to contemplate doing here is adding some width. Using something that it's a third-party plugin I'm really into. I'm just going to do this. So add effects channel here. This is going to be the CMX from Schwa, and you can find this on the Stillwell Audio site. The wet dry mix I'm going to take to 100%, and we're going to feed this through. And where are we? Sorry, I just clicked that off. Going to solo.
wanna? Why you always wanna tease me?
This is adding a nice kind of rich stereo detuned thickness to the vocal.
Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna?
Okay, you see that I'm bringing out some of these other elements now, trying to get a little bit better balance.
Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease?
Okay, that's cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over now, and I'm going to get this on the headphones so you guys can hear things sounding better, and I'm going to do a little bit of DIY mastering stuff. Actually, I wanted to get into those keys, maybe do something with these, bring them to life a little bit before I do that. And I think I'm going to switch anyway. So 2 secs, I'm going to switch over, I'm going to stop the recording and pick up on the other side. Okay, I flipped it over, let's have a listen, and I need to get those keys sorted.
Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always wanna? So bring your body close to mine. We can do it nice and slow.
Okay, so I feel I need to do something a little bit with this. Let me just check a couple of options. Modulation, the phaser, see how this feels. Bit of movement. Just gonna take the mix down a bit. Just gonna take that sync off the grid. So I'm manually changing the speed. Just experimenting with some different settings here with the phaser. See, there's already some wobble in there, but that feels more like kind of tremolo volume more so than anything else. Maybe I could try and get this syncing up. He's back a little bit on the feedback. And possibly this could do with some space around it as well. In fact, I could use that reverb here. See, the problem is with the phaser, it takes away the definition of the sound. Maybe I should have done it as a center return, but now I'm feeling that I don't really want that phaser on there. I'm more inclined to just say I need a bit of space around it, which is we've got that coming from the reverb here. Okay, so look, it looks like we've peaked over the maximum level we should be at, the 0 dB point. And I'm just going to put on a little bit of DIY mastering stuff here. I do wish I had a lot more time on this one, but it's tricky for me to fit any more time in this weekend on this. But I really wanted to keep it quite close to the first video. So I'm going to see how this feels. I feel we need to kind of gel the thing together a little bit more. We'll see what happens. So in order to do this, what I would do is I would use one of the native instruments plugins that I've really got to enjoy using, and it's the solid bus compressor, which is modeled, I'll say again, modeled after the SSL. And so the kind of stuff that I would do here is I tend to move this around a bit and get a feel for the release. Generally I go for a slow attack, which is the default setting. Anywhere between about 2 or 4 to 1 for the ratio, and I adjust the threshold. I'm going to bring this down so we start to get a sense for this. And so at the moment there's no compression. When I bring the threshold down, we'll start to see the meters moving, and let's have a feel for that at the moment.
Tease me. Tease me.
See, when you go for the faster release, it tends to sound much more hyped and lively, but sometimes it can sound too much so. So really we're balancing the length here of the release. Anywhere either fast or slow. You can go for auto as well, but I generally prefer to have a little bit more control over this. I'm feeling I actually quite like this hyped texture that's coming from the faster release. I'm feeling that particular vocal comes in a little bit harsh. Maybe I need to do some EQing on that. Let me just take a look at this. Possibly I've got a little bit too much boosting here.
Me. Tease me. I don't wanna waste no time, so bring your body close to mine. We can do it nice and slow and easy. I don't wanna waste no time, so baby just let it all unwind. Boy, don't tease.
So okay, so I was bypassing there so you could hear the difference. I was adding a little bit of the dry signal in. I'm feeling quite happy about the balance there. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in an EQ, so vibe EQ again. And what I tend to do is use this as a little bit of a mastering EQ, so maybe some corrective stuff. Let me just drop in also another thing that I use, which is the L2 as my kind of final limiter. So let's just see how this is feeling and see if I need to make any tweaks here.
Don't tease me. I don't wanna waste no time, so bring your body close to mine. We can do it nice and slow and easy. I don't wanna waste no time, so baby just let it all unwind. Baby, let it all unwind. Boy, don't tease me.
Okay, that sounded good. Definitely running out of time here, so this has been a little bit of a fast track through a particular mastering approach that I use. Solid bus compressor to gel to mix together, EQ just to deal with a couple of rogue things. I felt there was too much energy in 2.5K. You could really hear that. That's quite common when I mix. It's quite a funny thing, really. So usually I just dip down a bit. I had a little bit of a dip at 240 to take away some of the muddiness, warming up the bass at 60 hertz. And I'm feeling quite happy about that. So it feels good. The L2 is my mastering limiter here. I'll just reduce the threshold here so that we've started to get the whole thing feeling louder. I was watching the attenuation here to make sure I wasn't reducing too much too regularly. And this is sounding good. So at this point, what I would do is I would export audio mix down the whole track. So it's the same as bounce on other DAWs, and I would take it away, listen to it on a whole bunch of things, like on the iPhone, on the earbuds, on speaker systems, on a subsystem, a real mixture. Take some notes, and then come back to this, which is it's my contemporary DIY without a proper studio kind of vibe, because I don't have a proper studio. I've just got a little bit of space in the bedroom where I've got speakers, and that's where I do this stuff. So I think that's sounding really good. I'm going to show you a before and after. I'm going to bypass all those inserts, and then I'll turn it on.
Why you always wanna tease me? Why you always wanna? Why you always?
So yeah, that's working well. And like I said, definitely needs to have some evaluation done away from this setup. And once again, tell me what you think. Maybe I might find a way to do a follow-up, possibly on my Facebook page, where I can show you maybe if I've made any tweaks or whatever. But anyway, once again, send me your feedback, comments, etc. in the video. And I would definitely do this kind of thing again on another track for sure.